Well, good evening, everyone. It is, of course, Tuesday night, so you know where you are. It's the Roundtable. We do apologize. We're on a half hour later than normal, but hey, sometimes those things just happen. Nothing major going on here. Just a little extra time for us to prepare for you this evening. Hope you're all doing great, of course. I am Nick Rosario, the guy who likes to pretend like he's in charge, but of course I'm really not. I've got my three favorite people here with me to do this show. So, of course, the lovely, talented Delilah Crespo. Delilah, how are you this evening?
Sorry, I'm making sure I'm unmuted. It's a trauma from years of being virtual, right? Anyway, hey, everybody. I'm doing great. I'm ready. I need this Tuesday. It does help me break up the mess. Not me, but just so much going on in the week. So I appreciate that. I got to go to the gym today, which makes me happy, too. Then I probably would have if it wasn't for the gym. So I appreciate y'all. I'm glad we're back. I'm glad this is season 4, y'all. I'm ready. I'm pumped. Let's go.
All right. Handy, how about you on this fine Tuesday? How you doing, buddy?
I will gladly pay you Tuesday for steak and potatoes today. I'm doing pretty good, man. I got to host a couple of karaoke shows. First time back in the saddle. Friday and Saturday, and the tip money was nice. So
nice.
It was very nice, and got to work from home a little bit today. Took the wife to go get dental surgery, and got to laugh at her after she came out of surgery, and she just stood at the car like this. I'm really high right now. So it's been a good week, and we'll talk about it a little later. But there might or might not be a professional team that I like very much that actually won a game. So, yeah,
it could be. There's a rumor about that. Yes,
could be. So I've heard them talking on the Instanets and the Twitter faces and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Hello, Sean. How are you? And Tina, how are you on this lovely Tuesday in Chicago?
I'm great. I wish work didn't suck so much, but this is the best part.
Well, I'm glad you could take a break from work to join us on this fine Tuesday, as always. Well, we thank you all for tuning in. Obviously, Sean's already chimed in. Thank you, Sean. Who else we got out there? So just appreciate you guys all tuning in. As always, we've introduced ourselves. We're ready to go. The game always starts with, of course, a coin toss. Let's get it. All right, so we thought we'd try something just a little different this week. As you know, this is usually our news and notes segment of the show. But as with anything that happens the first week of the football season, the overreactions are abundant because so much has happened just in the first week alone. So we've coined this one, Don't Be a Drama Queen, because it's only week 1, people. Plenty of football left to play. But I'm going to start, I think I'll start with Tina. Tina, what is your overreaction or your thing for week 1? What do you got for us? Give it to us, Drama Queen. Let us have it.
We need to fire Will Lutz. That's all I got to say. I mean, we got rid of Moore to get another kicker who only kicked 50% in a game. So, I mean, come on. No, I'm not going to go after Russell Wilson. I'm not going after any of that. And honestly, I was okay with the game. I don't like losing to the Raiders. I hate losing to the Raiders.
Right.
But 1 point game with all of our problems that we've got, I'm fine. But yeah, I am one of those that I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, how did we get in this? Like, Sean, you wanted this guy.
All right, there you go. All I can say is field goal kickers, they can be your best friend and your worst enemy at the same time in any given game. So let's hear it for the kickers. No. But Andy, how about you, Mr. Drama Queen? What do you got this week for an overreaction? Let's hear it.
Now, hold on a minute. I know you're not calling me out by my whole name like you know my life, Drama Queen. I got your Drama Queen right here, okay? I can't believe I just said that. I don't understand that. Before I get into my whole thing, what is it with these young girls now? They got to taste themselves like every other sentence. Like, what's going on with you? Like for real. Anyway, I'm sidetracked. My don't be a drama queen. My don't be a drama queen this week is the Falcons are going to the Super Bowl. Calm down, people. Calm down, people. Slow your roll. I have been a Falcons fan for as long as I can remember. I even played for a little league team called the Falcons with the old school Falcons logo and the red jerseys and the white numbers.
There you go.
The days of Chris Blitz and Steve Barkowski. And somebody's going, who? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, my point is that the Falcons are not going to the Super Bowl. Not this week. It's one weekend. We won one game. Just be happy this week because next week you might be ready to burn your jerseys. Calm your tits. Yep. And oh, by the way, I am very happy to be here.
Well, there you go. So we're happy you're here. And we're happy. I'm going to go to my cohort here, fellow Bears fan, Delilah. All right, Delilah, give us your best drama queen moment. Let's hear it.
Listen, on Sunday, I had the pleasure of running into Nick on Sunday when the Bears and Packers play each other. Okay, but you have to understand, I understand that some people are like, it's not that big a deal, but when you know the history of these two teams and these two rivalries, we can't take it that way, and we get it. Okay, so just football people, sports people probably already know this is the longest standing rivalry in the NFL, and amongst sports, not at the top because baseball rivalries beat those because baseball's been around longer as a major league, but when it comes to rivalries, we're always at the top because of how long it's been a rivalry. We also have to look at the numbers. Here's what you have to know. And this is updated, okay? The Packers have beat the Chicago Bears in totality between all of our meetings 105 times to 95. 105, that 105 counts Sunday, to 95 with 6 ties, okay? So that's our number overall. That's how long we've been around. And so that's why when everybody's like, it's just week 1, you have to get over it. It's very hard when you know the history of the rivalry, when you understand just how we just kind of like, come on, guys, just give us one, right? The last time the Chicago Bears beat Green Bay was in 2018 with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. Just so you know. The last time we won in Green Bay, which is the next time we meet this team again, is in Lambeau. The last time we beat them in Lambeau was with Jake Cutler in 2015. So I want you to understand numbers and stats. So it's not just, I know some people were inflating like everything going on, but in general, if you pay attention to football-minded Chicago fans, like they will spit facts at you and they'll kind of break things down, and so that's why we're so frustrated. And that's why maybe it might seem dramatic to everyone out there in the football world. We get it. But when you're counting like we're paying attention year after year after year. 3 quarterbacks in a row have whooped our butts. Before that was Brett Favre, then Aaron Rodgers, except that one time we actually won a trip to the Super Bowl. That was one of the greatest quarterbacks in the game, Peyton Manning. So do you understand what we need? That's what we're saying. That's what we're tracking. So that's why we're so frustrated. And maybe, like I said, it might seem dramatic. You're right. It is game one. It's very possible in statistics of football that we can turn it around. But this is still a big deal for us. So yes, we want to beat Green Bay. Again, hasn't happened since 2018. And now we gotta go play them in the frozen tundra up north in Green Bay in December. So that's the next time we get that shot. And as Nick shares on here multiple times, division games matter. They matter. We saw that last year with Green Bay and Detroit. Detroit didn't have a stake in the game at that point, but they beat them anyways on purpose. Just so they can't go to the playoffs. That's a division rivalry. And conference wins matter as well, right? At the end of the day, the most conference wins and the most division wins gets you closer to those wild card spots that we look for, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So at the end of the day, whatever your thoughts are on a rivalry, these numbers, they do matter, and they catch up at the end. We saw it last year with the teams that didn't make it that should have made it. Anyway, end of rant and drama queen.
That's okay, because I'm about to let him have it, because I can be a big drama queen when I want to be. And all I can say is, what in the hell was that? Why in the world? What in the hell was that offense we were running? What in the hell was... I mean, if I see one more damn screen to the side where Chase Claypool, who couldn't block a 7-year-old in a playpen, like, what in the hell are we running? What is this offense, Luke Getsy? You pay all this, and you give up your first-round pick to bring DJ Moore here, and you target him twice? Twice? Are you serious? What in the hell are we doing? Then we're down like 14 in the fourth. He's trying to establish the running game. We're running on first down. We're running on second down. Are you serious? What are you doing? I mean, I'll be honest. If I probably wasn't tired from working all day, I would have been right there with Delilah screaming at the television and ranting myself. But Delilah did a good job for me, and I agree with everything she said as she was feeding it into my ear for the 15 minutes. It was great. But I'm telling you, my overreaction is that it's like, am I going to have to sustain another year of this? Like, I've been excited since the draft, since we signed Yannick Ngakoue. I'm like, ooh, we got a pass rusher. And it was like, oh, great. We got Edmonds. We got Edwards. We got the corners and the safeties were supposed to be our best part of the defense. What in the hell happened when this guy fumbles the snap, takes 3 minutes to pick the damn ball back up, and there's a dude wide open on the left side of the field, and if it wasn't for the fact that he tripped over himself, he would have scored. What in the hell is going on in Chicago? So, yes, I was really pissed about week one. I was embarrassed because, like Delilah said, we don't beat Green Bay. And we sit in a Packer bar and have to listen to this crap. Now, you're saying, well, why don't you just go somewhere else? Well, that's not how it works, people, because this is our bar. We know the owner. Her fiance's the karaoke guy, even though I like to call him traitor because he wears Green Bay stuff and plays for them, but that's okay. We still love you, Kev. But my point is, what in the hell was that? So that's my overreaction. We suck again, and we're not going anywhere. So there you go. There's my drama queen rant. Take that.
Yeah. If anyone wants to share their rants also, this is audience participation. Obviously, I've been sharing the comments. So by all means, you have your dramatic.
So Delilah, you talked about your division rivalry with Green Bay. It's been since 2018 since you've won a game against them. Yeah, welcome to my world with Kermit. 2018, 15 games straight we've lost to that man.
Yep.
The Raiders, it was 7 in a row, and we lost by 1 point. 1 freaking point.
Yeah.
Oh, and we had another defensive guy go down. Great.
Yeah.
And our tight end. The funniest thing is, I'm sitting at the bar I was at. We were kind of in a back room, and there was the Bears people in the front. I don't know many people know about things that Denver does, but one of the things we do is, how you used to have there's a timeout where we have, when they commit an interception, in the stadium, it goes, that pass was incomplete. We screamed it. Everybody in the front turned around and looked back at us like, what was that?
Yeah. We understand because Delilah and I suffer through that with the Packer fans when they get a first down or they do anything of any importance and they scream in the microphone and throw napkins when they score a touchdown and all this other stuff. So yeah, we feel that. Trust me, it's not always fun. But
it's nice being the hometown team.
There it is.
Handy doesn't have a rant. What do you got, Handy? You can participate.
I think Handy was laughing too hard to rant.
He has no drama, but you want to add to it before we move on.
I don't feel safe here, Mama. That man with the beard was yelling really loud. That scared me. I had to go to my safe place. I was in my head singing, "You and me, us never part, my kid." I had to get in my safe space. I really, honestly, I don't have a rant this week because my team actually won. So I mean, they're not world beaters, but you know, I don't have a rant this week. I wish I had a rant. You know what? I got a rant. Why is the McDonald's dollar menu, everything on the McDonald's dollar menu, not $3? I pull up the McDonald's the other day thinking I'm gonna get myself a chicken sandwich with a little cheese, and it was gonna cost me $1.50 for the extra 50 cents. Then it's $3.12. Then she want to ask me if I want French fries. I said, yeah, let me get a small French fry. Figure that's 99 cents. That's an extra $2.68. I don't like that.
Oh, well, then you really don't like the McDonald's in Wrigleyville, where everything is about 4 times more than in a neighborhood McDonald's. Trust me.
Man, look, I got enough sense. I got to look, man. Look, black people from the South, we smart. That's why we wear denim jackets. And when we come to the early games, we got the denim jackets on with the long pockets on the inside. Got Cheetos and Doritos and Jujubes and Jujubes.
You use your kids to sneak things into the movie theater. Yeah, I did that as a kid too.
Oh man.
I think that's why women usually carry big purses into the stadium because they got like sandwiches and bottled water and all kind of stuff in there, right?
Not anymore.
Except they surge it now.
Now
you can barely get a tampon in your purse through the game.
Unless you go to Sox Park and then you can sneak in something else.
I absolutely refuse.
I
refuse to pay a mortgage. I refuse to pay a mortgage for a soda, a hot dog, and a corn dog. That's just not happening.
Yeah, I hear you.
$82. $82.78 plus a pint of blood and a DNA sample. Get the hell out of here.
Plus a pint of blood, he says, a DNA sample. Good Lord. All right. Before we get too far off track, ladies and gentlemen, let us move on. We've all had our rant today, and yeah, I probably screamed a little loud. I apologize to everyone in my neighborhood. But anyways, let us move on to a more happier subject, because our next segment is one that we all enjoy and is a very popular segment on our show. It is This Week in NFL History. So, Delilah, take it away.
All right, so let's get into it, right? All right, so I just have a few things. I just jotted down a few things, and not too many days this time. But all right, let me start. Now that Tina's here, it just so happened that this worked out. I don't know why, but it worked out. All right, so September 9th, 1960, the Denver Broncos beat the Boston Patriots, because that's who they were before, all the up changes. But anyway, the Denver Broncos beat Boston Patriots 13-10 in the American Football League's first game in front of 21,597 fans at Nickerson Field in Boston. This is also Boston's the first time that they actually scored a field goal from 35 yards in a game. So again, this was the inaugural beginning of Denver Broncos. I've talked about it a few times, but there were multiple leagues kind of going on at the same time back in the day before unification, right? Everybody blended into one league. So this was the American Football League, and that's where Denver got its start. September 9th, 1960. September 10th, 1936, the second American Football League, played its first game as the Los Angeles Bulldogs, who defeated the Pittsburgh Americans 21-0. The first edition of the AFL operated in 1926. Sometimes it is referred as the Grange League, as the star player Red Grange C.C. Pio and General Charles Zimmerman started the league that operated only in one season. The AFL was revived in 1936 and 1937 as a rival to the NFL. They did keep trying to come back in different names and different iterations. They did this for years before the Cleveland Browns did it in the AAFC or when the Miami Dolphins did it in the NFL. So it kind of popped up and off, but they did kind of move around a little bit. September 10, 1937, the Cleveland Rams franchise left the AFL and joined the NFL. And it was on this date that they played their first NFL game. The Detroit Lions defeated the Rams in their NFL debut 28-0. But the franchise survived. So they started in Cleveland and in the 1940s moved to LA, then to St. Louis, then back to LA. There always have been Rams team in the NFL since its day in 1937. I am sure that Scott appreciates that tidbit. He's a big Rams fan if you're out there watching. All right, September 11th, 1983. Franco Harris becomes the third player in the NFL history to rush for 11,000 career yards or more. Harris's 180 yards in the Pittsburgh Steelers' 25-21 victory at Green Bay Packers put him over that distinctive yardage mark. And a couple more, and then we'll just move on. September 12th, 1976, the Seattle Seahawks played their inaugural regular season game in a loss to St. Louis, 30-24. So again, remember, a lot of these teams kind of came on a little later. September 12th, 1988, the first NFL game. And when we say first NFL, because I know it gets confusing, I mean modern NFL, when both leagues, the American Football League and the National Football League, actually came together in the one umbrella and became the NFL. So September 12th, 1988, the very first NFL game is played in Phoenix, Arizona, as the newly transplanted, because remember that the Cardinals came from Chicago, the transplanted Cardinals hosted the Dallas Cowboys. This week 2 matchup was the Monday Night Football game that week. The Cowboys spoiled the party in the desert as they beat the Cardinals 17-14. And then finally, even though this happened a little later, since yesterday, a few days ago, right, we know it was September 11th and we did a commemoration yesterday. But on September 24th, 2001, and I know that's not this date, but it felt important since yesterday was September 11th and there were some commemorations, right? Chris Gizzy leads the Packers onto the field. Memorably, we all remember this, onto the field before a game against Washington. The Green Bay Packers host the first Monday night game after the September 11th terrorist attacks in 2001. Packers coach at the time, Mike Sherman, had an idea. Gizzy, who was a reservist in the Air Force, would lead the team out on the field. He stopped when he got all the way to the south of the end zone waving the flag. I think we all remember that day. It's one of those things that kind of stick with us. So again, didn't exactly happen this day, but I felt like it was important. Because yesterday we do have to remember we love Monday Night Football, but we were commemorating the terrorist attacks. And I feel like it was important to remember that football piece of history when he flew onto the field. I think we all remember that, right? He was waving that flag around and trying to uplift the nation and the country after a terrible, terrible loss and tragedy, just all the trauma we felt. So, all right, that is your, NFL.
I had my microphone muted. I apologize. I don't I breathe heavy sometimes. I don't want to breathe during a segment like that. And, people might think something's wrong. But so anyways, thank you so much, Delilah, for all that. We're going to take a quick break. Let everybody catch their breath. We'll be right back in just a little bit.
We are back for Bo.
Yeah! He's a rookie. He's also half Puerto Rican. I don't know if y'all...
You already know what time it is.
Right.
Haydenhurst is coming out, and I feel like you're not alone. And our show too, as well. We're all about mental health and awareness.
Yes.
Off and on the field.
All right. Of course, that was our Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover show that we are very looking forward to the premiere of that. So I'm sure that will be very soon. Let us continue to move into the next segment, which has this is a new segment for us. It started last week with Tina. So Tina is back again with her corner office segment, and she's going to continue what I think is still a very interesting topic for all of this. So Tina's going to get into that. She's going to talk a little bit about gambling again. So Tina, take it away.
Well, hello everyone. Hey, Delilah, can you put up the okay. Sorry. Hi everyone. This week with the corner office, we're going to be doing what I'm calling gambling part 2, based on the gambling policy isn't something that we can cover like in a very quick short 5 minutes that we did, and based also some comments that I saw online and Sean let me know about and the corner office talked about. We're going to go into this a little bit in more detail. Okay, so last week there we go. Last week, 6 takeaways from the gambling policy. The 2 that we're mostly going to focus on today are the top 2, which is don't bet on the NFL and don't gamble at your team facility, in your hotel, or while you're traveling. Johnny last week asked about fantasy football because he talked about how Austin Eckler likes to play fantasy football. You can't play fantasy football as an NFL player as long as it's either free or the prize isn't more than $250. That is about the same as if someone was to do a meet and greet or something at a hotel or a casino. That's the most that they could get to. So when did the gambling policy in the NFL change? The gambling policy in the NFL, they're having a little technical difficulty. Gambling policy in the NFL changed in 2018. And the reason it changed in 2018 is that there was a Supreme Court decision in the case. It was called Murphy versus the NCAA. And in that game, what had happened is there were 4 states in the United States that you could actually do sports betting because it was legal in those states. One we all know. The other was Delaware, Oregon, and Montana. Now, what had happened is New Jersey in 2012 decided that they were going to create their own ability to have gambling at licensed places. And so the sorry, trying to do things here. So they put their law in place in 2012. Well, the NCAA sued the state of New Jersey, claiming that that law was a violation of what's called the PASPA law. All these things that I'm talking about, I will put up a PowerPoint presentation when they're done, and you can look up these cases and look up these things to get a little bit more detail. But what ended up happening in that is the Supreme Court agreed with the state of New Jersey, and they declared the PASPA law, which was passed by Congress back in 1992, that pretty much curtailed sports betting. They agreed with New Jersey that it was a violation of state law, of the states' rights, and for them to be able to do what they wanted to do. And so sports betting just went sky. It just, the game was on. Every state had laws, all of it. And that's why we saw this proliferation in the late 2010s of all these gambling book places and sports books and everything else. Now, based on that decision, the NFL made 2 changes to their gambling policy. One was that the players were not allowed to bet on at the team facility or at the hotel or on a trip. That was one thing that they made. That was a change to the policy. The other thing was that it added the restriction, or it allowed the play. Let me go back. Sorry. The changes were it allowed the players to bet on sports other than football. Before that, it was just a complete ban against gambling for all players. And then it put the restriction on that they couldn't bet at the team facility. So can we go to the next slide? All right. So starting in 2019 is when we had our first suspension for gambling. And the man's name was Josh Shaw, and he was from Arizona. And he was indefinitely suspended for what they called a minimum of 1 year. And that was because he placed a bet on, and he either placed a bet on one game or two games. It doesn't matter. You do it one game, it's the immediate 1 year suspension. Then we all know the situation of Calvin Ridley in 2012. He was suspended for 1 year because he bet on an NFL game. What you can see is in 2023, we had a slew of gambling cases of suspensions. There are 6-7 guys that were suspended in 2023. Isaiah Rodgers bet over 100 NFL games. And then there's a bunch of, Detroit had a gambling problem, you can see. There's 5 people from Detroit on this list that got suspended for gambling suspensions. And not because, though I do love my boys, I did not highlight the guy from Denver, and I'm not going to try and say his name right now because I'll totally butcher it. He's suspended because he's probably going to be brought up on criminal charges in the state of Iowa because he was gambling on Iowa State games when he was there. And then at the NFL, he bet on all 32 of the Bronco games. So he's never coming back, as far as I know. The big change that they saw this year is the second slide, which is the bet on a non-NFL game at the team facility. That was 3 players. That was a new change this year. And I'm going to go into more about that later, but essentially it's like what I said. You cannot bet on a game at the team facility. Even if you're not betting on the NFL, you can be betting on a poker game. You do it at a team facility, on the plane, at the hotel, you're going to get a minimum of 6 months, a 6-game suspension. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. And we're going to talk about why this is happening. Like, why did this uptick happen in 2023? I kind of show them as separate columns, but they work with each other. But the first thing we're going to focus on is the second side, because this is what I think is causing the new charges to start popping up about betting on non-NFL games, is because the tech has caught up to the violators. So all these sports betting books, all this stuff, they were able to possibly be able to hide some behavior that violated the policy, but the tech wasn't there to be able to catch them. Now you have the tech. There's geolocation on your phones. You can pinpoint in exactly where that bet was made. Like, was it made at their house or was it made at the team facility? They can find that. All the sports betting websites have what are called integrity companies that are checking to make sure that everything that sports betting site does is in compliance with the state that they're incorporated in, and also in the states that they do business in, because those states can have very different laws. But the integrity companies also work as kind of a middleman between the league and the sports betting companies. And what the integrity company does is gives a list of all the players in the NFL, all the coaches, all the employees, the owners, because remember, owners, employees, NFL are also subject to the gaming policy. Theirs is much stricter than the players. The players can at least bet on non-NFL sports. Everyone beside the players can't bet on anything whatsoever. These integrity companies flag names. They put a list of the names of everybody who should not be placing bets. And what they can do is if a name gets flagged, it shows up in a bet, they can check the geolocation. They can check where this was, who made it. Did it come out of their house? Did it come out of the team facility? So the tech has caught up. And that's why I think there was a big proliferation of gambling suspensions in 2023. And that happening goes to the other side of it, which is this is a zero tolerance law. There is no getting out of it. Because if the NFL has one instance that shows that these guys bet on their own team and affected a game, they're going to be under investigation by state and federal authorities and enforcement agencies. And they're going to be pulled in front of investigations. And there goes the NFL's stake in a $220 billion sports betting business. That's the real reason why they have this policy. Okay. They're in partnership. Yes. 3 of their major sponsors are all gambling websites: DraftKings, FanDuel, and Caesars. And those guys have the right to use the NFL logo when they do their marketing. So there's a lot of reciprocalness that's going back and forth between these two. So one last point. So I kind of mentioned in it. So when those 3 guys so it was a wave. The first wave was everything on the right side from 2023. All the guys that had bet on an actual NFL game. The second wave came in April when they got the people who bet on a non-NFL game. What the league did then was sent out a letter to every agent in the NFL and said, you need to remind your players they cannot bet at team facilities. And they reiterated this policy. And there is a lot of training. They have to go through the training once a year. They have to do Zoom calls. They have to do testing. This is not a policy. These guys know what they're doing. They know what the policy is. They're choosing to try to get away with it. And that brings us to something that I thought maybe like the 4 of us can kind of talk about, which is, why are these guys doing this? Like, they know what the policy is. They know if they may not bet on it, like they're not willing to take a chance at a year's suspension. Calvin Ridley was having some mental issues at the time, and he's actually come out and said at that time he was doing things that would help him. He wouldn't be bored and it would engage himself. So he's 100% taken all responsibility for what he did. The people that are betting at the team facility and choosing that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost like they think they're not going to get caught. And they do, and it's a 6-game suspension. Most of these guys, they never play in the NFL again. Any thoughts?
You're muted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, sorry about that. I was like, wait a minute. Well, my biggest thing with all of this, and again, we touched on it very little last week. Betting in sports has been around for how long, right? I mean, you look at everything from Pete Rose in baseball getting the lifetime ban for betting and all that. And now, like you said, your 3 major sponsors are all gambling sites. And you can argue this all day, I'm sure. And yes, guys may are arrogant enough to think that, hey, well, I'm not going to get caught. I'm just placing a small bet on my phone for, whatever. But the fact that I still think in some way, and again, I could be in the minority here, but just the fact that your 3 major sponsors are betting sites, but you're telling again, betting on football is one thing, but not being able to place a bet on anything really? How does that make sense? Like, don't you, whenever someone is your sponsor, like, don't you encourage people to like use the sponsor or to, patronize the sponsor? But here you're going, no, you can't do that. These are our three biggest sponsors, but I don't want you doing any of that. I don't care what it is. You don't do it. I just find that a little weird. That's just me.
Just to clarify, remember. No. And I think that's a very valid point. But just to clarify, remember, it's the players can bet on non-NFL sports. It's everyone else that can't bet on any sports. The policy is actually stricter on everyone else than the players.
Right.
So, but I agree with you. I mean, sports betting's been around since the 1920s. I mean, ever since it's been going around. And before it was with bookies and all these other things. There was also federal laws that were involved with wires and sending money and all of that. And I'm not going to get into it. That's a deep dive we don't need to talk about. But yeah, I get that trying to reconcile your major sponsors with a gambling policy. But I also think it's a little bit of, because in 2018, a lot of these current players, they were in high school, they were in college, they'd make these little bets. It's a game. It was something for them to do to try and maybe make money. But if they were on scholarship with the NCAA, they can't make more than $250 a month. So I don't know how much money they would make. But these are guys that they like the thrill. They like being able to beat the odds and do these things. So, but it's just one of those, like, I agree the reconciliation is weird, but this policy is straightforward. And the reason the NFL came down with the hammer this year is because it has to be a zero tolerance thing. There cannot be any wiggle room on this, because one bad situation, they have a Pete Rose of their own. The federal government's going to come in and rip this right out of the NFL's hands. And the NFL is going to lose money. And that's the thing. The NFL is a business. So
yeah, true.
They can't really. Yeah, they can bet on that. An owner can't, but a player can. So,
thank you, Scott.
Technically, no, he can't.
Right. Yeah, he's still under contract. Right. He can't do
still under contract. Yeah. So one quick thing before I end my segment, I wanted to kind of put this out there and say, I really want this to be an interactive segment with people that on Roundhouse. Geez, I got Pet Swayze on my brain today, I guess. Roundhouse. Roundtable. And yeah, really.
What's the name of the show again? What are we doing? Who is this? Where are we?
We're the Roundhouse.
Roundhouse.
That kicker kicked my brain into another dimension, I swear. I want it to be an interactive segment. So anybody has any questions about an NFL policy, or why was this person, like, if you have a question about why this person might have been suspended, or why this happened, or why that happened, I don't really want to get into like officiating calls or things like that. But if you have something that has like a legal tinge to it or an idea to it, put a comment in the comments. I am reading those, and I will try. Hopefully this segment won't be a full 10 to 15 minutes of one topic. We might be able to cover a couple of comments and look at that. So send me your ideas. I'm up for looking into anything I have. I have a copy of the CBA sitting to the side, and I'll dig into policies all you want. So,
all right. Nope. Thank you, Tina. That sounds great. Let us go ahead. Now that you've ingested all of that information, I know that's great. We're going to move on because, as you know, week one just happened, and there was a lot of things that went on this weekend, and I'm sure we all have some favorite moments. So right now we're going to get into that. This segment we're calling, just for this week, our moment of the week. So week one, we'll start, Anthony. We'll start with you, my friend. Give us your favorite moments from the week one in the NFL.
My favorite moment of the week was watching the New York Giants marched down the field on the Cowboys and turned the ball over on a blocked field goal. And then Saquon Barkley sitting in the field like, maybe I should have held out for another week. that was the look on Saquon Barkley's face. He was just sitting there in the middle of the field. I should have held out for just one more week. They was gonna give me the money anyway. I just would have told them I was gonna start late. That's all. I'm sitting on here on TV looking dumb. Just that was my entire favorite, but that was my favorite moment of the entire week. It's like, because my wife is a Cowboys fan, and so the Giants are marching down the field. I'm like, dang, man, your boys ain't looking too good right now. And then old boy just played a little skip to my Lou. He played skip to my Lou on the snap count. And just you see him just watching him skip. He reminded me of Laura Ingalls skipping through that field of daisies at the end of the episode of Little House on the Prairie. He's like, wow. 180, ready, set.
That's hilarious.
Oh man, that's it, man. That's it. That's all you got for it. You got to know. All right, no, it's fine. It's funny.
That by itself, and the thing is, I go to the gym in the morning. Delilah, like you, I'm a gym rat too. I'd go to the gym in the morning, and they just kept replaying that thing on a loop. It's just Saquon, just rain, spilling down his head. It's like you can expect to hear the sad piano music from the end of the Incredible Hulk playing while he's just sitting there in the rain, just like. And then the football players always do this thing they do when they realize they're on TV, they get ready to say something. It's like,
oh my god.
I love it. All right, well, Delilah, how about you? What was some of your favorite moments from week one, or if you have one or two, go ahead and share.
I mean, even though my team lost, I do appreciate Justin Fields making sure Jordan Love's mama had good seats in the house. I don't know if you remember last season, people were like, when Jordan Love was still back up, his mom in Lambeau was given like nosebleed seats or something. I don't know. So even though we lost, Justin Fields made sure Jordan Love's mama had good seats to the game and watched her son beat us up. So, so at least she got to see that because of him. From the
back to the nosebleeds for her, I tell you. She got to put up stairs like that. I love his mama.
But
honestly, like there was a lot of good football. I mean, I know I was like upset, but honestly, it was like Janae and David. Wow. I didn't think like New York was gonna come out here and lose that badly. Like, not at all. I didn't think they were gonna win necessarily, but I didn't know if it would be 40-0. Thank you for taking the heat off of us, because all the jokes have been about New York this week for a variety of reasons. There's been a lot of New York jokes. But I appreciate Danny Dimes and the New York Giants for flubbing it so badly that my team and Tina's team got forgotten.
Little bit, right?
Blowout.
That boy played so bad.
Thank you for that, New York Giants.
That boy played so bad they need to change his nickname to Peter Pennies. Damn a Danny Dimes.
That's my favorite moment. Took the heat off of us. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. Right. All right, Tina. How about you? Your favorite moment or moments from week one?
I got almost a handful. One, the Chiefs losing to the Lions.
Sure.
Best start to the week for me.
Okay.
Miami beating the Chargers.
Right.
We were cheering hard for that. It's now created a three-way tie for last place in the AFC West.
There you go.
And though I hated to see it, the Browns beating the Bengals. That was just, I sat there and watched that game with my mouth open. Like, I couldn't even believe what I was saying. And I've said it for years. I think Myles Garrett doesn't get enough respect because he is on the Browns. But he was just all over the place. And though I hate to say it, God, do I hate to say it? Whitehead in that game last night, picking off Josh Allen, like
3 times.
he was like inside his brain, like no matter. So those were those are my top ones. But yeah, I kind of agree with Nathan. The first week is, since they took away the fourth preseason game, the first week really is just kind of, you never know what's going to happen in this week. It's people that should lose don't, and people that should don't either, and it's crazy. So it's a fun week.
So what you trying to say? Atlanta should have lost?
What?
You trying to say Atlanta should have
Who'd you
lost?
play again?
Now
Who'd you play again?
Now she can't hear.
He's saying you said Atlanta should have lost.
Who'd they play?
Who they play? Play the Panthers.
Yeah. Oh God!
Yeah,
by the way, Delilah, that video you sent us was brilliant. Said they got a midget on the field.
They got an elf on the field. It was they got an elf on the field.
That's what it was. It said.
Because they were talking about the Browns. The Browns have an elf.
Yeah, they have an elf on the field. Yeah, elf on the field. Well,
that was awesome.
For anyone who has ever seen our show, I think you can almost predict what my favorite moment of week 1 was. On a Monday night in New York, there was the debut of one Aaron Rodgers. And on the 4th snap of the game, he gets sacked by, and again, poetic justice maybe, a former Bear draft pick in Leonard Floyd sacks him on that 4th snap. And again, let me clarify by saying, as a human being, I don't pray for other people's pain. But this could not have happened to a nicer guy in week 1 on his 4th snap with his new team. Because Mr. Discount Doublecheck is now out for the season with an Achilles injury. So, what does that mean? Well, that means I can root for the Jets again because Aaron Rodgers isn't their quarterback. Because I actually like the team as a whole. And to me, what's funnier, because I don't know if this is a case of like Green Bay karma or New York karma, but you tried your best to get rid of replace Zach Wilson by bringing Aaron Rodgers in. And now you're scrambling because you had to go back to Zach Wilson because you had no choice. So now you're making frantic phone calls to guys who are sitting at home drinking beer watching football on Sundays going, hey, man, come up play quarterback? We could really use you. Because I heard Carson Wentz got a call. I heard Nick Foles got a call. Chad Henne got a call of all people. So, yeah, the Jets are scrambling. Yeah, call Johnny Football. Colin Kaepernick's agent contacted the Jets because they want him to make a comeback. Can you imagine that one?
Yo,
sorry. One question.
No, go ahead.
The thing is that I was in and out because yesterday was a crazy day for me. I'm sorry because I thought they said he just fell. So I didn't know it was a tackle. They made it seem like this man was like moving and he fell. And that's how you hurt his Achilles heel. So he was actually tackled. I just want to.
No, Charles Floyd got in there for the sack.
You can see his foot slide off.
It seemed like this man tripped on his own 2 feet and hurt himself, and so that's why I was trying to get clarity on that.
Well, it's funny you say that, because my buddy Joe actually put a post up on Facebook about that, where ESPN tried to make it seem like, he fell down and never got up, but that's not true. After the play, he got up for a minute, but then he sat right back down, and that's when you thought it was more serious than what it, because it looked like he rolled his ankle when you watched the play.
Okay, see, that was the confusion.
It looked like he rolled his ankle.
Okay, that was.
But he stood up.
They did make it seem that way, like he just tripped, but he was tackled previous to that. Okay, see, now that makes way more sense. Thank you.
Right, and he got up, And then he kind of sat back down rather quickly. And that's when everybody went, oh, obviously something is wrong. So then they came out, and then when you saw him with the boot on, you went, oh, yeah, this is serious. I wonder what happened. And it was confirmed today, of course, that the Achilles injury, so he's out for the year.
No, the Achilles injury, I'm sorry. There was a lot of conflicting reports and a lot of different videos. Exactly. And so I just wanted clarity. And I'm
because
sure
people like to put Aaron Rodgers on a pedestal. That's the problem. And I apologize. I didn't cut you off, but
no, but getting tackled would be a better video because at least there's a reason he went down. But doing the other stuff where it made it seem like he just tripped doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? That makes it seem worse to me.
No.
You're just making it seem like he's.
That's what I said. Just tell the truth. It's not like people weren't watching the game and saw what happened. Like, why would you try to paint a narrative that, oh, he just fell down or what? Shut up. Like, that's just stupid. Like, everybody saw what happened.
Because they didn't realize what was going on. They didn't realize what was going on. I've had 2 Achilles tendon surgeries. So what you don't realize is how little blood actually gets to the Achilles tendon. And he tore it. He ended up tearing it. So that when it tore, probably what happened is, one, he's got adrenaline going because he's in the game. And he didn't realize how injured he was. So then when he tried to stand up, then the blood just, because there's not a lot going there. And once he ripped it, it's probably going inside his body, not to get too gross. And then that's why he had to sit back down. Yeah, because like that thing. But the best part of the whole thing to go with Nick's rant is the Manning's faces.
Like their reactions were great. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was edited. You know, there's a lot of like those fake videos.
It was edited.
So I was like,
the meme makes it seem like they had that phase when he was injured. No, they were making that face when he was being carted out.
But it's the boot on, because they're like, oh, is he really gonna? Is he really getting carted off? They're like, yeah, he is.
Oh my God, he's not coming back. Yeah,
he's not coming back. And so that was definitely, again, I know we all know my love affair with Aaron Rodgers, but
well, you're not
what are you gonna do?
No, that was like my fourth, but I was gonna give it to you. I had a feeling that was going to be. I knew that was going to be your favorite moment, and I was like, "No, let him go."
Anyone who knows me knew that was probably coming. So yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Nick, for clearing up the video, and Tina for explaining the injury. Like, all
that helped. Yeah,
that's just my guess based on my experience, because, like I said, I've had 2 of them, and the Achilles tendon. Everybody, it's just not something you screw around with. I had bone spurs is what I had, and so it was slicing through my Achilles tendon. Some people get them on the side. I was lucky enough to get them right in the middle, but I had to have it detached and reattached, and I had to learn how to re-walk. It took me almost 3 to 4 months of physical therapy. And I'm not a professional athlete and didn't rip it. So I can't even imagine what kind of pain. Well, he's hopped up on painkillers and other things right now. So
fam. He called down the ayahuasca brothers and had them send him a case.
Right. He's in the yurt right now.
Right.
He went back to the waterfalls in Hawaii to smoke some stuff. He'll be fine. He'll be all right. We good, Aaron.
Yeah.
But let us go ahead and move on to another one of our great segments here. And, of course, this one belongs to the great Anthony Handy. It's time for the Rookie Spotlight. Here we go.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys have been enjoying the show so far. This week, Rookie of the Week, we're talking about, I don't know what it is. I'm feeling pretty generous. I don't normally give a lot of love to the teams that some of these rookies I've been looking at come from. This one comes from a team that my favorite team has done battle with on the gridiron for many, 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 many years. Sometimes 90% of the time they've wound up victorious, but we wound up getting that big W and taking home that trophy. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's enough shade thrown there. But this gentleman comes to us by way of Tuscaloosa Bryant-Denny Stadium. He is now a Houston Texan. His name, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is Will Anderson Jr. Will Anderson Jr. actually, ironically, played for Alabama. Anybody want to take a stab what state he was born in? This makes me this tickles me. That makes me laugh. He was born in Georgia, in Hampton, Georgia, to be specific. I know exactly where that is. Actually, he just celebrated his 22nd birthday because he was born on September 2nd, where he went to Dutchtown High School and was a phenomenal athlete. His senior year, he had 22 sacks and 15 tackles for loss. He was named the Atlanta Journal-Constitution's part of their Super 11 team and played in the 2020 All-American Bowl. He wound up committing to play football for Alabama. Sorry, that was a really bad Forrest Gump impersonation, and that hurt my throat, so we won't be doing that anymore. Anyway, he came in and immediately started paying off dividends, wound up finishing his career at Alabama with over 204 tackles, 115 of them solo, 34 and a half of them for sacks, 58 and a half of them for loss. Also, he picked up one interception, which was a pick six. He ran that one back. So it's safe to say that he's a pretty good football player, right? Also contributed to, Also contributed to the team by way of a national championship in 2020, the Bronk Nagurski Trophy, the Chuck Bednarik Award, like anything that you can Bednarik. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. Any awards you can think of that they could throw at this guy, he wound up taking them home. He's a Defensive Player of the Year in 2021 and in 2022, which is amazing given the fact that those are the 2 years that Georgia had those phenomenal defenses with all those guys to pick from. That was not shade, by the way. I'm just letting y'all know. That one definitely was not shade. If it's shade, you'll know. Keeping it moving. He was drafted overall by the Houston Texans third. He was the third pick in this spring's draft. He signed a 4-year deal worth $35.2 million with a $22.6 million signing bonus. I really should have played better. I really should have worked better on my football when I was coming up, because it's just that's insane amount of money to me. I mean, they deserve the money. I'm not going on a rant here. Nick already had the epic rant of the evening, so I'm going to stay where I am. We've already talked about, so now I told you about his stats. I told you about where he's from. Will Anderson is, think Lawrence Taylor with a little bit of Troy Polamalu thrown in, and every now and again he will Jadeveon Clowney you. I almost cursed. You will get Jadeveon Clowneyed. He's got this insane ability to pick this, like Troy Polamalu. It's just something about him and that snap count. It coming off that edge too many times. And I've watched this guy play, again, another SEC player. I watched this guy play multiple games where the running back just didn't see him coming. Quarterback can't even get 3 steps into his 5-step drop back. He can also drop back and cover and defend passes. I mean, not a whole lot came around his end that he wasn't stopping before it got past the line of scrimmage or catching you before you got too deep into the secondary. This kid is absolutely phenomenal. And as we know, the Texans could use a little help on defense, which is why they picked him up. I think that he will be an incredible addition to their defense, especially since, their marquee defensive player, J.J. Watt, left and went to go play, went off to supposedly greener pastures, is now retired. So I think that this guy is going to come in and make an immediate difference. I did not get a chance to track how he did in the game yesterday. But I will be keeping an eye on him, and I might do a follow-up report on him just a little bit later. Listen, if there's any defensive player you need to watch this year, this guy is definitely one of them. So just mark my words. If you see the Texans playing and they're on your schedule, don't roll your eyes and go, oh, God, the Texans suck. Watch it and see what this kid does. He gave us hell for 3 years when he was playing on the other side of the line against Stetson Bennett and those giant monster offensive linemen. He is going to do some serious damage in the NFL. To use my phrase I use all the time, as long as he stays healthy, we're going to see some good. Hey, we use it a lot. Am I lying?
You're right. No, you're right. 100%.
Ask Aaron Rodgers.
Man, come on, I was going to say that.
Sorry.
I tell you what, just come on the show, just take all my phrases, take all my little phrases. It's all right, boo-boo. I will get you on the backside. Yes, as long as he stays healthy, just ask Aaron Rodgers. He will be a force to be reckoned with in the NFL and hopefully a great addition to the Houston Texans. Although I don't see the Texans going to the Super Bowl anytime soon, I do see their defense getting markedly better because he's a member of their squad. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's Rookie of the Week, Mr. Will Anderson Jr.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Handy. Very, very, very nice, my friend. So, real quickly, guys, we do want to thank everyone again for tuning in and watching in the comments. Everybody's been in the comments. Nathan, Scott, Sean. So appreciate all you guys. Keep them coming. Tina's responded to a couple I heard, so that'll be fun. We're going to take another quick break, and then we'll come back on the other side. We'll be back in just a moment. Really? No, really. We're back. No, really. Absolutely. Thank you, Nathan.
I'm sorry. I don't know all the videos on the back end.
No, that's all right.
I thought it was an ad for his. I'm so sorry. I thought that was an ad for his podcast.
Well, I'll go ahead and help you. I'll go ahead and help you out.
Thank you.
Big Nate Sports Talk. He's on all the time, every time. There you go.
There it is.
Ooh,
so, yes, check out Nathan Snell and his podcast. Right. Thank you, Andy. Because actually, for those of you who don't know, Handy did a voiceover for Nate, so there it is. So, yeah, check out Nathan Snell and his podcast. Nate's a good guy, and he's doing some wonderful things. So, the next segment we're going to do is one that I personally enjoy. Next is Nick's Picks, which, of course, is where I pick the games. 4 games every week. But go ahead, Delilah. Hit my music.
Wait a minute, hold on before you get started. No, you did just pull a Deion Sanders. Give me my theme music.
I'm happy because your boy went 3-1 this week, okay? I'm back, baby. Last year was an off year. I was under 500. I'm back. Week 1, 3-1. I'm on fire, baby. And the only game I lost is because the Saints only won by a point, and I had them winning by 3 or more. So I almost won now. I almost went 4-0 this week. So here we go. Let us get started. First game for me is Dolphins-Patriots this week. Now, Dolphins. Tua came out again and showed why, when he's not concussed, this guy can play some football. And very impressive win over the Chargers in the back and forth. Does make you question their defense a little bit, but the offense for the Chargers is actually pretty good. But in this game against said Patriots, they are giving up 2.5 points to New England. Now, I know Belichick always has good defense. Offense, we're not quite sure what New England has. They got some pieces, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins minus the 2.5 because I think they win this game by at least 6 or 7. So I will go ahead in my first game, and I will take the Dolphins over the Patriots by 2.5. Now, my next game, I know some of you are probably going to call me on this one, but hear me out for a moment. Jaguars are playing the Chiefs this week, week 2. As we saw last week, the Chiefs are probably going to be without Travis Kelce again. I mean, it is early in the week, but all reports right now are that he might still be out. We'll see what happens with that. And we all saw what happened when he threw the ball to his receivers and they did not catch it. Now, I'm not saying that the Chiefs are on the downslide and all of a sudden the season is over, but I really think the Jaguars are much improved. And I really feel like they're starting to get it now, with Travis Etienne and Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence. And, they're really starting to get something there. And they're getting 3 points in this game. Obviously, the Chiefs are favored. So I'm going to take the Jaguars +3 this week in that game. Game number 3, and I apologize for me while I read my little paper I got here because, I'm a little old and sometimes my eyes play tricks on me. But Chargers-Titans is the next game. And again, we saw the shootout that the Chargers have with the Dolphins because we all know the Chargers really do have a pretty good offense. Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert. Defense gave up a few points to Miami, but Miami is a high-powered offense. Do I feel like this is a chance for the defense to rebound this week? 100%. Because Tennessee, for all the pageantry of having Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins, still have Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback. I don't know that Ryan played horribly Sunday, but the team came up on the losing end. So in this one, as the other game, the Chargers are giving up 3 points. They're -3, which means they're favored to win. So I'm going to take the Chargers -3 because I think they will beat the Titans by more than 3 points. So that's my game there. Number 4, I'm going to be honest about number 4. This is a game that I probably wouldn't have touched had it not been for something specific that happened, which I mentioned earlier. The Cowboys are playing the Jets this week. And I'm sure everybody was looking forward to this when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of the Jets because of that Cowboy defense and, what potentially could have happened there. Because obviously we know the Jets have Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Cook. I mean, they showed some really good flashes of offense yesterday, even though Zach Wilson was in charge. But that's one of the reasons why I did pick this game, because we all saw what the Cowboys defense did to the Giants. And, yeah, they spanked them good. Now, as you know, I'm guessing that this line went up when Aaron Rodgers went out because the Cowboys are giving up 7.5 points to the Jets this week. But I'm going to take the Cowboys that I don't normally do. I'm not a huge Cowboy fan, but we know plenty of people in the Let's Talk Football family who are. But I'm going to go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt this week, playing the Zach Wilson-led Jets. And I'm going to take the Cowboys -7.5. So just to recap, Dolphins -2.5, Jaguars +3, Chargers -3, and Cowboys -7.5. So there you have it. Again, you can play with me. You can make fun of me when I lose. Do whatever you like. But just remember, I went 3-1 in week 1. I'm looking for a 4-0 week this week, baby. So there you go. Those are my picks for this week. I thank you all for tuning in. I love you. But anyways, so of course, go ahead, Anthony. No, you go ahead. You gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, bro, you wild. You are wild.
Why? What did I do?
I'm glad I muted my microphone before you started your segment. You said with your whole chest, Tua showed us why when he is not, and then when he's not concussed, he is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. I was like, what hell? What? Wait a minute. When I'm not concussed, I'm one of the best drivers in the state of Oklahoma. I don't mean to laugh because concussions and CTE is a real thing. It's just
right. It's just the way I said it. Yeah, thank you.
Some comments. People are asking some questions about some picks, some bets.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble reading that because, not that you probably want to know this, but I have 2 different pairs of glasses because I'm old and blind. Not legally, but I mean, I have bad vision. I've been wearing glasses since I was 7 years old. And I have a pair of glasses I use for close-up and reading and for my computer at work, and I left them at work. So I'm wearing the glasses that I use in my everyday. So I'm like, well, I can't read the note. What did you say? What's the comment? What's going on there? No, it's not your fault. I don't have the right glasses on.
Rams versus 49ers, if you know the line for that and what are,
who Scott wanted to know?
LA Rams versus the Niners.
Yeah, I would take the Niners in any instance there. Even though the Rams beat Seattle this week, Brock Purdy is showing that with that offense, he can play. And that defense is phenomenal. So I don't know. Sorry, Scott Fowler. If that's you, I don't think your Rams are winning this week. You're about to go 1-1 because I think the 49ers are for real, my friend. Nathan, what do you got there, buddy?
Zach throwing 3 touchdowns against Dallas. He says, does that make him crazy? Can we play the theme music? But that's from a different show.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, Nate. That might make you a little crazy. I think CeeLo Green should visit your house because you really think that Zach Wilson's gonna throw 3 touchdowns on that defense? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this, Nate. This is how confident I am that won't happen. And I think I made this bet last year and I won. I will go to Subway and buy a foot-long sandwich and eat it on the air if Zach Wilson throws 3 touchdowns against that Dallas defense. You hear what I'm saying? I will eat a sandwich live on the air, a nice foot-long sub from Subway or something. Because that's how confident I am that Zach Wilson will not throw 3 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys this week. Yes, Anthony.
If Zach Wilson doesn't throw 3 touchdowns, Nate should have to come on the show and eat some chicken wings.
Yeah, eat some chicken wings, Nate. How about that? Huh?
Yeah, Nate does
you
not
want to
like wings
out there, pal? Let's do that. No, I mean, that's on Nate.
Can
I don't want to force anybody to do anything. What, Tina?
Can I join that bet? Because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
So if it does, you're
the defense is what kept Zach Wilson in that game. If Zach Wilson is now going to have to learn Hackett's system, if Russell Wilson can't learn Hackett's system, how the bleep is Zach Wilson in a week?
That was my biggest thing. That was my biggest thing is you set up the entire offense for Rodgers. Like you changed
Rodgers teaches that system. That's the problem Hackett had in Denver is his coaches couldn't teach the guys the system. Aaron Rodgers knows it, so he can say, wide receiver go here, 2 go here. So he's teaching it. I'm sorry, I love you, Nathan, and I think you're great and all of that. But the idea that Whitehead won that game for them. That's why they won. Let's just be honest. So I'm in on that bet. If they win, I will get a foot-long Subway and eat it on the show.
There we go. There it is. So you could see, folks. This is why you tune in. Next week, Tina and I could be eating sandwiches during the show. This will be great. But I don't think it's going to happen. So,
I joined the bet. I get a steak and potatoes and try not to drop it on the floor.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
All right, Delilah, what are you eating?
I guess I'm going to be running the show while everybody's munching.
Delilah, look, they'd be like, Anthony, are you done yet? Well, I guess this week's Rookie of the Week is
steak and potatoes. Absolutely. That's funny. I love it. Well, listen, again, we want to thank everyone for your comments. What did you say, Scott?
Scott doesn't know that you asked for the spoke. What a sacrifice to make keep a foot long. He doesn't know you yet, does he?
Touché, my friend. I've had a few in my days. Hey, I'm all for a good joke. That was pretty good. Yes, obviously Nick has not missed many meals in his life. That is correct. That's all right, though. I'm just saying. I like Subway, by the way, so that may not be such a sacrifice at all. But we're coming to the end of the show. We want to thank, obviously, everyone for commenting, everyone for watching. Truly appreciate that. I mean, if you can't tell, we like to have fun here as long with giving you the football and everything else. We're a pretty lighthearted bunch, and I think that shows. So thank you all for indulging us in our silliness. We do appreciate that as well. But it is time for the serious part of our show because, we got another comment here. Mr. Snell, I'm not eating. I'll go a whole week without posting anything. Wow. Whoa, really, Nate? You're gonna go a whole week without posting anything? There's no way you're gonna do that. I would just take that bet on just that alone that you're gonna stay silent for a week.
No, man.
I don't know about that, Nate.
No, man. Look, something gonna happen in the WNBA, and Nate is gonna pop up on Facebook. I'm just telling you.
Right, exactly. You're in too much, buddy. There's no way that's gonna happen. You can't make that bet. But hey, it's your bet. So if you want to do that, be prepared to not hear from you for a week, I guess. What does Sean have to say about this?
Wow. Wow.
All righty.
Here's the guarantee.
Yeah, guarantee.
Guarantee. Oh my goodness! Now see, this is what I'm talking about. This is how this show should be every week, right? We give you the knowledge, we give you the fun. This is why I love to interact with everyone. This is phenomenal. Again, thank everyone for watching. But again, as you know, we end every show the same way every week, and that is with one last thought. So Tina, again, we'll start with you. What is your one last thought for this week?
All I have to say is I'm going to be sitting here for the rest of the season because I love saying this guy's name. He caught a touchdown in the game, one of his first in the NFL. Little Jordan Humphrey, that guy, I love him. Okay, and I can't wait for the rest of the team to come back. But seriously, Humphrey, dude, man, that was awesome. I loved it. So there we go. Not everything was all bad in my game.
No, again, you were very close to victory, but yeah, you hate the kicker. We know it's okay.
Yeah. He's on my naughty list right now.
He doesn't get a Christmas card from Tina this year because he can't kick.
No.
All right. Well, Mr. Handy, how about you, sir? Would you like to give us your one last thought?
Give me a second. I want somebody. I'm gonna do like in high school when you didn't read the assignment. Let somebody else go.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll go to Delilah next. Delilah, what is your one last thought for this week?
Yeah. So, all I want to say, I know this is kind of somber, and hope y'all could pick it up, but someone in our LTF family lost someone close to them.
Yeah.
So keep Nicole and her family in your prayers, thoughts, whatever you believe in. You know, it could be non-religious too, but everybody has a way of mourning. So think about Nicole and her family in this time. She recently lost her dad. And so I just want you to just keep her in your thoughts, or whatever it is, send out good, positive, and just kind of think about them. She finally actually shared. That's the only reason I'm talking about it, because she actually shared it on Facebook. Because I am really respectful of people's processes, and so that's why I wasn't really putting anything out there. So again, Nicole, we love you. We're here for you. You know, you need anything, let me know. Give me a call, whatever. You know, whatever you need, I'm here for you. We love you. Your seat at the ladies' show is waiting for you. So when you're ready to come back, you know, we're all here for you. And again, I'm so sorry. My deepest condolences. We love you.
100%. Thank you, Delilah, for that. Appreciate that. Handy, how we doing? You ready now, buddy?
I'm good to go now, man. I'm good to go.
Okay. Very good. Go ahead.
I was over here trying to think about what kind of dressing I was going to put on the steak when I sit it over here and try not to knock it over. But anyway, my one last thought is, and you'll hear me say this a lot, whether on this show or another show. Try and find something that you really enjoy doing, and preferably with folks that you enjoy doing it with. Now I know at least one person in the comments, I won't call names, but he's an LA Rams fan that might take that a different direction. But this for me is there's more than one reason why I'm happy that football, as my good friend Reverend Red and Black will say, football is back. I enjoy doing this. I have missed the being silly with the three of you every Tuesday night and us clowning and joking back and forth, and while we're talking about the game that we all love so much, or ranting, as it were, you, sir, about your team and how bad they are, or how much you hate your kicker, that kind of thing, or how hard you working. It's like I don't know. It's a lot of time. I got to do the banners, and they're still on. We can't do that, but I love every moment of that. I enjoy. Following up with keeping up with the chat during the day. I can't keep up with y'all. I don't know. My job just I don't know. Maybe I got the wrong job because I don't have time like that. Y'all be texting for like back and forth, and then I come in at 1 o'clock and go, yep, that sounds about right. And then that's it at 5 o'clock in the evening. But I enjoy doing this. I love it. The karaoke thing, I never thought I was going to host the show ever again. And then the lady said, hey, would you cover for me when I'm out? And I said, sure. And it went on so long, I didn't think she was going to get me to host the show. Now, unfortunately, she's not doing well right now, but she was sick, and she was like, "Hey, need you to cover for me?" And I had a lot of fun doing that. And it's because if you have something to break up the monotony of get up, take a shower, get dressed, go to work, do your job, or in the case of some folks, get up, put on some clothes to look presentable from the neck down, and work from home, and then cook and do whatever. It's something to break that monotony, something to give you, because there's a lot of y'all know I've talked with y'all about how things are, what I do during the day and even on the weekends, and I don't have a whole lot of downtime. So this for me is a break from life for a little bit. It's an hour, a couple hours out of my day between us backstage before we come on and being on afterwards. And so find something in your life that you enjoy doing. I'm looking at the camera because the people's is watching. I'm supposed to be talking to the people. Find something in your life that you enjoy doing. Find somebody that you enjoy doing it with, even if it's something you like to do by yourself. Oh my God, I'm giving Scott so much ammunition. Like fishing. I'm talking like fishing and stuff like that. Now, we're not trying to get canceled, but find and do it and make time to do it, because if you don't, you will go crazy. You will burn out. Y'all know I hit the wall a few months back and got laid off my job because I could not do it anymore. So y'all find something, have fun with it, and go do it, and find some folks to have fun doing it with. That's it. That's what I got.
No, thank you. That's great, and I 100% agree with you, my friend. I also look forward to every Tuesday and to being able to do this with you guys. I really do. I hope you understand how much I truly appreciate you guys for doing this and how much I love being here. So thank you guys as well. Delilah touched on it a little bit earlier. Yesterday was September 11th, and she talked about the first football game back. I actually, for those that you don't know this, obviously, my father's birthday is September 18th. And on September 18th of 2011, baseball came back first, essentially, as far as the major sports. The White Sox were playing the Yankees at Comiskey Park, and my dad and I went. And I don't think I've ever seen in my life an outpouring of just kindness. People, we were hugging people. People were crying. They played the national anthem, and I don't think there was a dry eye in the entire stadium. Like, that's the kind of thing that just makes you proud to be in this country. And sometimes I think we forget that, at times that we do live. We live in a free society. Your politics, whatever that is, I'm not trying to get into that. But we are free to do whatever we want to do pretty much. And to see that day with everybody there together in the stadium, knowing that everybody had the same mindset, we were praying for New York, we were praying for our country, all that good stuff. It just filled my heart. It honestly did, because I feel like, we are all on this planet together. We're all here in America together. Everybody has difficulties. Everybody's got their things. They have their jobs, their lives, their kids, their husbands, their wives, whatever it is that take up their time. Like Anthony said, you get up, you go to work, you come home. A lot of people have routines and all those things. But at the end of the day, man, we're all here together. Let's respect each other. Let's love each other. Let's just be kind to one another. Like, that's my biggest thing, man, is that costs absolutely no money whatsoever just to be kind to someone. So that's really all I wanted to say about that. Again, never forget September 11th. I know I never will. I remember exactly where I was when everything went down, and I even had to go into work that night. I was working at a movie theater, and even that night, for the few people that showed up to go see a movie just to be distracted from what was going on, the conversations that night in the lobby were just tremendous, and you just felt the love from everyone. So again, thank you guys all for watching this week. This has obviously been another episode 2 of season 4 for the Roundtable. So as we say goodbye, we thank Tina Winter, Anthony Handy, Delilah Crespo. I'm Nick Rosario. Everyone have a fabulous week. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. You guys have a great one.